Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 158. And today, what we're gonna talk about, man, we're talking about a plethora of different things. But one thing I do want to hit on is the fact that no one, know when you're not. You have to know when you're the problem, and you have to know when you have to walk away from the problem. A lot of people stay stuck in a situation where they want something to work so bad, whatever it is, boom, 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 for whatever reason, they want it to work. And when it doesn't work, they're like, they start making excuses. They start looking for chinks in the armor. They start doing X, Y, and Z, right? And it's okay to move on, man. It's okay to let shit go. It's okay to sit there and be like, this didn't work. But let me, let me look at myself in this situation and look what I got to do to get better. Because we can always get better. I've been in situations, we've all been in situations where we're like, yeah, we could have handled that shit a lot better than what we did. And it's true. And believe me, I'm not wearing a hoodie for fucking for um to be cool. It's cold as a motherfucker. It's like let's find out uh what the um what the weather's like real quick. Anyway, not like it matters. But yeah. Man, you gotta realize when you're the problem. You gotta realize that okay, like every situation I'm in is like it can't be everybody else's fault, right? I don't care who you are, I don't care what happened, whatever it is. I'm a firm believer that you are 100% of what you attract. And if you're attracting the same type of dudes or you acting the same type of way, like, you know, and when I say shorty, I mean man over, or woman. And with that being said, man, it's like, hmm, okay, cool. You know, I get it, but not really. Whatever it is, right? A lot of people will be like, "Oh, so and so did this, so and so did it." I'm like, "Yo, like, what did you do in the to have them respond that way? You know, what did you do to basically have this individual, male or female, come at you in a way that you wasn't expecting them to come at you?" Now, I'm not saying that every situation is going to be like that because it's not. But most of the time, when I say most of the time, I mean like 99% of the time, people going to have a reaction based on something that you did, something that you said, whatever it is, right? Everybody knows my past situation when I was dealing with Big Head, and what she did and how I've reacted. And I kind of carried it on a little bit too long, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, I remember she told me something that I proud, that I still remember. She said, "Yeah, well, like what you did, was a knife to my stomach." I'm like, "Oh, so me blocking you on social media after seeing what I saw with dude, and you expected a nigga to be cool about that, or are we talking about after left out, how you ran into people that I know and y'all had full fucking blown conversations and you were leaving out shit to make yourself look good, only for me to double back and like basically find out what you told me was a fucking lie." I mean, because it's like at the end of the day, if you admit shit, bro, that's a lie in my book. You know, especially if it's a conversation. I was like, yo, it's like all you had to do is tell me what y'all talked about since you brought it up. And when I ask you, oh well, like, is there anything that that y'all talked about? Because if the conversation's about me, I kind of want to know, just in case the other person comes and be like, hey, Mikey, with you, X, Y, and Z, we talked about X, Y, and Z. Yeah, well, okay, boom, whatever. I don't want to go into a conversation blindsided, and that's what happened in that situation. And I told the other individual, like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but like, tell me what's going on, And I made the mistake of not checking my emotions, and when I spoke to this individual, and I said like, hey, look, right now, Jay's, Big Head's word carries a lot more weight than your word. So, but I need to know the whole story. And Shorty told me the whole story, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense because it's like you're talking about the same shit. Mind you, she didn't know what we talked, what me and Big Head talked about, but she was talking about the same thing. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I'm like, all right, bet, and Shorty was like, yeah, well, this is what we talked about. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then she's like, oh, like, why? What did she tell you? And I said, oh, well, she just said that y'all had a basic conversation, and it's like a lot of the stuff you brought up, she brought up, but she didn't bring up the whole entire thing. And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay, and I had to go back later on and apologize to her, be like, yo, like, hey, my bad. I didn't know the whole story. I let my emotions get the best of me because I was really feeling Shorty, right? I was really feeling her, and I'm like, I kind of sat back and I thought about it. I'm like, Shorty ain't worth it, man. It's like I told myself, dog, is she gonna lie to you about this? And it's something so minuscule. It's a fucking conversation that she had with somebody else about you. And if she's gonna lie about that, then what the fuck else is she gonna lie about, right? And it's wild to me that people don't sit there and realize that. It's like, yeah, it's like you don't get to sit there and dictate how somebody feels, bro. It's like you don't, you know. And I was like, yo, and then I hop back on the phone with Shorty, was talking to Big Head. I'm like, oh, and this is like 2 weeks later, right? And I was like, bro, you realize that what you did broke my fucking heart? It's like here I am fucking thinking this is going somewhere. Boom, 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 and then you hook up with this nigga. You hook up with a dude that you told me that you can't stand. You hook up with a dude who told me that you were like made you mad uncomfortable. Like, come on, bro. It's like you hooked up with, what I mean? Like there's so much shit in that situation, and I'm like, shorty, all you had to do is tell a nigga. That's it. You didn't have to spare my feelings, or you didn't have to do X, Y, and Z. Because like, last time I checked, nigga's a grown man. I can handle myself, right? And I can. You know what I mean? I may not agree with it. I may not like it. I'm gonna respect it because, like, yo, it's like if you would have told me person to person before you plastered that shit all over social media, because I said, yo, like, you did that shit for 2 reasons: to let motherfuckers know and to let me know without telling me. Without taking self accountability for for basically lying to me this whole entire time. Because she was telling me all this shit like, yeah, well, Mikey, there's nobody else. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. Niggas don't believe you, but all right, whatever. and but yeah, it's crazy to me, dog. It's like I don't I don't understand why people put themselves in situations like that, and it's like I get it, speaking of experience, but it's like, yo, it's like you gotta realize, dog, that you at fault too, and I wasn't 100% at fault. I'm not innocent. I'm not X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm just a nigga who got caught up. As simple as that. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, yeah, yeah, like, nah, I ain't doing all that. That coffee good too. But yeah, man. When you run into certain people and all they do is complain about shit, stay the fuck away from them, bro. I don't care how bad they look. I don't care how X, Y, I don't care if they got a fat ass, big tits, pretty face, whatever. If they're constantly talking about the negative in this situation, like, dog, I ain't the one, shorty. I ain't the one. Because if you wasn't focused on that, you probably would see right in front of you who was who's legitly good for you. I was talking to a partner of mine early this morning about the same shit, bro. And I was And he was like, yeah, bro. He's like, I know exactly who you talking about, man. It's like, he was like, a lot of these women will basically ruin good men, and or vice versa, and vice versa, and they want to sit there and play victim and shit, doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, nah, you can't do that because number one is like, shorty, that's who you are. Who you are is who you attract. And it's like if motherfuckers ain't vibing with you or if they no longer talking to you, X, Y, and Z, it's like yo, it's like why why waste your time? You know? Why sit there and be like, oh well, like you said this, you said that. I'm like, no. It's like, oh, take self accountability, understand what what your role in the situation is. Understand all that, man. Cause it's like I've been in situations where I've been messing with shorties and they be like, well, everything you do is X, Y, and Z. It's like, yo, that's what you wanted. Did I not? Did a nigga not give you what you wanted? Because if I didn't, and yeah, but I did. So what's the issue? Like, what is the issue where um you felt that you was entitled to something else, a different version of me that you didn't earn? What? Is a nigga supposed to flip a switch and just basically give you another version of me? Just, it's like, no. It's like I tried giving that other version of you. You didn't want it. A nigga gave you the energy that you were giving me. What? What are we doing here, right? No, seriously, what are we doing here? You know? And it's wild to me that people will never ever sit down with themselves and realize that. Like, I've had shorties go to therapy. And they be like, well, I'm going to therapy for X, Y, Z, boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, cool. Are you actually implementing the therapeutic practices and strategies that y'all are going through? Because I have friends who are therapists. I have friends who've been to therapy. I have friends who own their own practice as a therapist. And they're like, bro, the number one thing is like these people will come to us and they will never not implement the strategies that we work on. And the number one thing they work on is boundaries, dog. That's the number one thing. I study behavior for a living, bro. That's what I do in the grand scheme of things. I study behavior for a living. And it's wild to me that people will not implement their own boundaries for themselves, but expect people to implement boundaries for them. Like, yo, what? What are we doing? Again, what are we doing? And it's wild that people will waste years and thousands of dollars in fucking therapy and not realize that they're the fucking problem as to why they're having problems. That's a bar. Let me say it again. They would not realize that they're the fucking problem as to why they're having problems. And it's like, shit, bro. It's like, I hate to be so using such vulgar language and shit, but it's like, at the same time, bro, it's like, I get tired of this shit, because it's like, a lot of these people be doing the same goddamn thing, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Why? What for? You sitting there blaming somebody else when you're the problem too. Like I said, make it make sense. Because you don't get to dictate how somebody feels about it in a situation. You don't get to do that. And I think that's the worst thing that somebody can do. You don't, like, just don't do that. Don't play with somebody's emotions. Be honest with them, man. It's like, it's like I had somebody recently who I've been talking to for a minute. They said, oh, like, will I ever be considered a friend? I'm like, you know, to you. It's like, I'm like, oh, we way past that. You know, if we texting every day, if we talking every day, and the conversation of what we talking about is a different level of conversation, you already there. You know, there's there's three tiers in my life that I put people in. Um, tier one is potential conversations, right, leading to something more. Tier two is like, do I ever want to, or not? I don't want to say tier two, but there's three options. The first one is what's already aforementioned. Second one is like, do I even want to remember your name? The third one, I don't list that one because it's like the third one and the first one are tied together. And I remember Shorty was like, wait, there's a third level? I was like, yeah. It was like, you keep talking to me and we keep having the conversations the way we having conversations. And it doesn't have to do anything sexual or anything like that too. It's like, it's just basic human conversations. Or if we vibe with each other and we know we vibe with each other, I'm gonna keep rocking with you. And like it's really that simple. I don't force anything, man. I'm too goddamn old to be doing that shit. I'll be 36 this year. What the fuck I look like forcing shit? Only time I force shit is force reps in the gym. That's about it. And she was like, wait, there's a third level? I was like, yeah. It was like, but she didn't know it, but she was already there. When she said something like, "Hey, well, like we're we're a vibe," she's like, I don't feel like I gotta force conversations out of you or X, Y, and Z because you don't, and I don't care what the situation is, bro. It's like I don't care, what is going on in somebody else's life or what the circumstances are. Is like I said, bro, nigga, if we vibe, we vibe. Like, I'm never not going to be a different guy around you until I have to be a different guy around you. And if that's the case, then that's fine. Like, I'm never going to be like, yeah, boom, 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 boom. Like, no. It's like, no. I mean, if I change up, it's obviously a reason, bro. It's like, you ask anybody who knows me on a personal level. People will be like, man, I've known Mikey for fucking 20, 30 years, bro. That nigga's always been the same. I have. No bullshit, I have. And they're like, if he changed up on somebody, that means probably this person did something to him that he ain't really fucking with. And I'm not. And everybody knows that I'm a twin, right? The difference between me and my twin is that I see things for what they are, meaning black and white for the most part. And I'm a little bit of gray here and there, but it's like I mostly base people off their patterns and what they do. My brother will try to see everybody else in a good light, no matter what they've done, and sometimes it backfires on them, sometimes it doesn't, a lot of the times, like, I say 50% of the time, it's a 50-50 shot, right? Whereas me, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't really fucking with you, bro, because the last fucking 5 situations you've been in is the same goddamn thing. Like, why do I need to hear what you've been through, Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, no, it's not gonna work. And, so yeah, man, it's like I said, like, I've had friends for damn near 25, 30 years, bro. And it was like, a lot of these cats be like, yeah, Mike's always been the same. He's never not gonna be Mikey. And I'm not. Like, what do I look like changing up? And I tell people all the time, it's like, I'll give you the version that you see or that everybody sees until you give me a reason not to give you that. And if I change up around you and if I act differently around you, you know exactly why. And it has nothing to do with my feelings or my emotions in the situation. It's all about how you carry yourself and how you view yourself and how you conduct yourself too. Like, I cannot hang around people who sit there and complain about this situation and situations and do nothing to change it. I can't hang around people who don't have any self-accountability. I don't take any accountability for anything that they do in any type of situation. And it's like you got to know when to walk away from certain people and certain things, man. It's like you don't want to be that dude who's always involved in bullshit, drama, and around dumbass people. And when I say dumbass people, I mean men and women. Because I don't fuck with a lot of people, man. It's like a lot of people know me, but niggas don't know me. You know, it's like the last shorty that I was messing with, she said, yeah, you know, well, like you kind of like the Pope, you know, the Pope. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, well, because everybody knows you, but nobody knows you. I was like, yeah, because I'm cool with everybody until you give me a reason not to be. You know, and vice versa too. Like, everybody cool with me until I give them a reason not to be cool with me, right? And like, I'm like, I'm never not gonna sit there and be like, well, like you did this or you did that. But I was like, no. It's like, no. Like if I fuck up, if I hurt your feelings, whatever it is, it's like I'll be like, oh, yo, I ain't mean to do that. You know, if this is fixable, let's fix it. And if it's not fixable, okay, cool. You know, let's keep it moving. You know, because there's no point in trying to fix a situation where you're the only person trying to fix it. You know, there's no point in doing that because why would you want to do that? It doesn't make any sense to do that. And I think the faster we figure that out, man, the faster we figured out that it's like a lot of situations you can't fix it because the other person is not ready to fix it or they don't want to take accountability for what they've done. Just walk away from it. I've had people tell me like, you know, well, if you see me in public, pretend you don't know me. How am I gonna do that? Shorty, you was in my sheets. What you talking about, right? Like, you should have thought about your emotions and your feelings about me before you jumped in my sheets fucking multiple times, right? I'm like, It's like when Cat Williams did his interview with Shannon Sharp, and he said like, "Yo, if you wanted me to speak more highly of you, you should have treated me better." Facts. Like you don't get to dictate somebody's feelings about you in a situation when they were involved with you, and you know it's true. And like I said, like I've been preaching through this whole fucking video, this whole episode, man, is like you gotta know when to walk away. Like, yeah, that ass may be fat, you know, the sex may be bomb. She may have this banging body, but when it comes down to this mental, when it comes down to actually having conversations with somebody, you need more than just a physical, dog. See, that's everywhere, bro. That's everywhere. And there's a reason why people get divorced. There's, you know, for a multitude of different reasons. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to do better, you got to get better first. But you got to recognize the situations that you're in, and you have to realize, okay, it's just serving me. Am I helping them? Am I helping myself? Am I hurting them? But most importantly, am I hurting myself by staying in a situation where I'm not even valued? I'm not even seen. I'm not even heard. And if you're not, if those three questions are no, am I valued? Am I seen? Am I heard? If all three of these are no, then why are you still there? You know, if you're married, sign the divorce papers. If you're engaged with somebody, call off the engagement. If you're dating somebody, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, end the relationship. In all three phases, end the relationship. Because there's no point in you sticking around in a situation where you know you're not getting met where you need to be met at. I'm gonna say it again. There's no point in you being in a situation where you know you're not getting met where you need to be met at. And I think if a lot of people realize that shit before they hop into another situation like that, you'll be better off. But one thing about me is that I'm always going to communicate my needs, my wants, my displeasures, whatever it is. I'm never gonna sit there and act fucking and like give you the silent treatment. I'm not gonna do that. Like it may take me a couple of days to come around, but like, hey, look, man, I gotta holler at you. You got a minute? You know what I mean? Because I'm the type of dude like I'd rather sit there and collect my thoughts in a calm, collected manner than be in a heated situation with somebody and say something that technically needs to be said, but not in the way that that I would have said it in that situation. Because once you say it in that situation, you can't take it back. And a lot of people will do that. They will say shit in the heat of the moment and not realize that, yo, that was really fucked up for me to say. So what I do, and what I, and I've been doing this since I was like 18, 19 years old. Um, One of my older friends peeped me in the game. He's hella older than me. He said, yo, every time you're in a situation and you get upset with your girl, whatever it is, or whatever situation you in, and you're like, yo, let's table this for a later time and come back to it when cooler heads prevail. It could be an hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be 5 hours, it could be a day, or however long it takes. But you always want to have some time away to really think about shit, to understand the situation. Because you're dealing with conflict. And when you're dealing with emotions and conflict, shit runs hot. Anyway, y'all, this is about 27 minutes of your life that y'all won't get back. Hope y'all keep it a 4-piece. Private player, positive pushing. I'll see y'all next week Sunday. I love y'all. And like I said, know your worth because you're better than what you are. Ghosts.